Hello everyone and welcome to my channel in MMA. I am Gautam Sharma, been known as in this channel, and today I'm gonna talk about the UFC 322. I'll be covering the main card and also talking about our guy from India, Anshul, Jubali, and more of the Indian MMA fighters that are coming along. But for the first part, let's talk about the main card, which just happened this Sunday. DDP versus Sean Strickland. Let's start with the first fight in the main card, which was Jack Matthews versus Parado. It was a crazy fight. I thought Parado was gonna take it, but Jack Matthews showed what are levels in this game. Jack Matthews was few steps always ahead from Parado, even though he was trying to make his move from Argentina, but he was just too weak to show anything. And Jake Matthews showed levels which was needed to be shown to a new guy coming up. And the next fight, Jimmy Crute versus Rodolfo or Rodolfo. Maybe I said it wrong, apologies from my side. But this was a sick fight. For the first round when Jimmy Crute dominated him, I was like, nah man, Jimmy came back after so long. I watched Jimmy's fight against who's the guy? The Lionheart Smith. I watched his fight against Smith. Smith leg kicked him in the knee area and his leg was dead. He couldn't even fight. But the previous record of Jimmy has been crazy. He has amazing knockouts, amazing finishes, and the first round felt like it was a finish. He was coming with very much good energy in the ring. He was comfortable there. There was no ring rust till the first round and he dominated Rivaldo. I thought this was gonna be the time when he ends, and the finishing sequence at the last minute was crazy. It wasn't supposed to be. It was supposed to be a finish if the fight just prolonged for a little bit more, maybe 30 or 25 seconds, but I guess Rodolfo or Rodo, I will call him Rodo for this segment. Rodo has another plans. He had the guy in his corner. He had the guy, Alex Poetan Pereira. He was just there watching his guy get beat up in the first round very crazily. And the amazing thing was, which I really liked, Rodo went for a takedown. He went for a sweep. I think it was a sweep. He went for a sweep. He got out-muscled by Jimmy. He just fell over him. That was like crazy. I really enjoyed that sequence, and after that there was just ground and pound. He was moving, he knocked him down in the last seconds, and after it was just raining punches, elbows. Hopefully he could have finished him, but Jimmy be having bad luck since his last 3 fights, 2 decisions. A decision which he should have won if he would have won any of the 2 rounds, which were getting close. They were both tired, but Rodo showed heart, man. That guy showed there is level to heart as well. Jimmy been hesitant when the round started, second and third round. I felt like he was hesitant, but he was landing, but man, he should have done something more. Maybe would have taken him down, but Rodo then decided he is a master of takedown defense, and he was defending so good in the later rounds, which was, I think, would have been in Rodo's benefit. I think he has been active more than Jimmy, so maybe that played a factor, but it was a sick fight. And then we have Jailton versus Tafa. Jailton versus Tafa. The Samoans are breaking it. When my guy Wesleyan Sydney Taito Iwasa was coming up, 5 fight knockouts. Holy hell. I was like, nah man, these guys are built different. They are crazy people, people to be feared of. They look like they want to fight. These Samoans were crazy, man, but I gotta take MMA gurus, man. The fear of Samoans is losing, and it is going out pretty quick. No matter what we have thought about it, it is going out. There is no fear of Samoans. Yep, it might look like Tafa and Jelton could have been anyone's game if referee should have given him much more time, but the guy was down. The guy was clearly down. He had nothing going on. An elbow from Tafa, which was crazy. And I think this guy can take things to the next level. He was moving, he was not just striking, he wanted to take him down. He went for a takedown, didn't get it. Threw an elbow. God damn. He threw a combination, I thought, always be performed. When you are in the clinch, there is chance of landing an elbow, but to implement the things you need to be in the state, man. And he showed that. Samoans, the best Samoan that we ever had in the UFC, Mark Hunt, by far. Crazy guy, crazy knockouts, crazy chin, a person to be feared of, a brawler to core. And Taito Iwasa and these guys are brawlers, they are there. But the fear and the legitimacy of these guys are losing. I'm taking the MMA guru's word here, but I don't know, man. I think these guys can bounce back. But to bounce back, they gotta have the sense of they are not feared. People are not feared of them. Fighters are now not taking consideration that they are fighting a Samoan. They're just fighting. And that is something Samoans needs to think now. They are not the mans anymore. Even though we only had Mark Hunt, but still. The big jack dudes, man. Samoans are like crazy. With the tattoos and all, they look intimidating all the time. And they have the build to look intimidating. And the haka they perform, man, crazy shit. But the fight just flew by, like real quick. It was crazy. But to Tafa, man, the guy's crazy, he's young. They should build him, not rush him to the wolves. Because even he showed good power here. I think with a good wrestling background, I think people can beat him. He might get fraud checked. If you throw him to the wolves in top 10, it'd be crazy. Maybe a few more fights outside the ranking and then a ranking fight. But UFC work crazy sometimes, man. You can't even decide what is going on or what is not. But let's move forward with the most anticipated fight, where the results seemed like it is there in our faces, which was WEILI versus Tatiana. And for the most part, I thought WEILI was gonna shut her down. People be underestimating WEILI too much. Too much. After her fight with Carla Esparza, the way she railed Carla, it was crazy. It was crazy. The only thing I think, if she had a rematch with Rose, I think she would perform much better. Way better than that crazy knockout they had. No, I don't think they had a rematch. Or maybe they did. I don't know, I'm not remembering it. But for the most part, they were really outnumbering or not even regarding WEILI in a fight against Tatiana, and I was praying that she will do the same thing she does every fight. If it's a competitive fight, it is going to be competitive for the first round. And that's all it was. It was competitive. It was not even competitive. It was dominated by Tatiana Suarez in the first round, where she completely shut WEILI down. But then there was a thing. When the reversal happened, it was WEILI who was taking advantage. And when I saw that, I knew now Tatiana has no chance. For the most part, people really underestimate WEILI's strength. Tatiana looks big, she looks strong, but WEILI's just built different. Sometimes she has that energy. And she shows that energy in every fight, except the Rose one, which was crazy. But she's a dominant force, a real dominant force. And people will be underestimating her a little bit too much, I felt. In this one, very much. People were glazing Tatiana. Glazing. Even Sean. But he was still saying who's gonna make the pancakes, or who's gonna make sandwiches, or who's gonna feed the family. But still, everyone was praising Tatiana. Even the odds thought Tatiana is gonna get her. WEILI is a striker. She learned takedown defense and offense in Cejudo's camp. She's been practicing it, and now she is better than Tatiana Suarez, who everybody thought would take WEILI down and dominate her and take the championship. Like, seriously. That's all it took. The American wrestling credentials, which people glaze American wrestlers for. They glaze them. Similar to Dagestanis, but Chael and DC, they glaze them. A little too much. You can't be that predicament about some credentials when they are fighting for the title. Because the person sitting with the title has more credentials. That's why they are the champion. They have that high level skill. That's why they are there. But I don't know why sometimes DC, Rogan, Chael, they just full on glaze their guys. It is what it is. Can't really say anything. But the first round was the only dominant round of Tatiana, and other rounds were damn. It was all WEILI, WEILI, and WEILI. No one else. She showed why she is the champion, why she has been a consistent champion through all these times. But what's next for her? She's literally the GOAT. She's the GOAT of her division. And the only fight that makes sense, which I wanted to see for a very long time, is her versus the Bullet, Shevchenko. In the last fight, Shevchenko beat Grasso in a very boring way. We can say that. She was not even fighting that much. It was all grappling. Because she was big. She's bigger than Grasso, so she did that. But the power of WEILI, I think it'd be an equal match. I think WEILI can take her down multiple times. She has that stamina and she has that power in her. And if it's a standing matchup, it's gonna be difficult for WEILI. She's gonna charge her. Shevchenko has great range fighting. She can set up shots. That is going to be amazing. It is going to be the fight to watch. Like, it is going to be the fight to watch if they fight. WEILI will fight. She's been fighting. For the most part, ghosting will happen. But let's see what's next for her. But I hope she fights sooner, not take a 6-month hiatus again. Maybe she will. Who knows? the next fight, which has been the fight I was waiting for, is DDP versus Sean Strickland 2. And we got a bummer. When you look DDP, when you look how he fights like a madman. But I felt similar to most people that DDP felt very calm. He was not rushing things. I saw in the first round, when the first round began, he was white in the starting of the round, and he had a reddish back from the first half. But in the second round, he was all red. Like, the guy has crazy pace. It seems all the time that he is losing or he might be gassing out. But the guy doesn't gas out. He fights. He was throwing crazy stuff, man. The first time he missed a spinning leg kick, I thought, damn, that is bad. But after that he landed most of the spinning kicks. The back fist, broken nose. This all came out of nowhere. Crazily, Sean was bleeding from his mouth. That was crazy. Now that is a devastating blow when you fight. And it's just amazing. Everyone seems to beat. This was a crazy tweet that everyone seems to beat DDP on paper, but when they fight him, he always wins. That's the guy. He was throwing body kicks. He was going for the body. But the one thing I felt was Sean was also going for the body, and I thought those blows were working, but I didn't know why he didn't continue them. It just boggles my mind a little bit. I don't know, he usually doesn't throw many kicks, but he was throwing to the body. And deep kicks, they hurt. They hurt him. The whole foot is coming to you in your stomach. It will hurt. Eventually it will hurt. If it doesn't in 10 or 20 tries, in 21, 30, it will hurt. It's the body. It can be broken. I don't know why he stopped. None of those were working, but it was impressive. It was clearly impressive from DDP. He did his thing, and the guy is crazy. The guy is crazy. His fight with Hamzat is gonna be a thing to watch, because Hamzat is killer in the first round. A complete killer. He feels like a killer when you see him. He has that aura and energy around him that feels like he's there to kill. But if DDP beats Hamzat, god damn. If he beats Hamzat, there's fair shot he will beat Pereira. Because no one has actually wrestled with Pereira or mixed things up. Even if it is a stand-up fight, which again you have to give it to Pereira because of what he does and how he does things. But for the most part, DDP's chances are very good. The guy is crazy, man. The guy is crazy. He has crazy cardio, crazy techniques. He stops mid combinations, which is again a crazy thing to do. Like, how can you stop a mid combination when you are in the flow? And now we're gonna talk about Sean. Sean, he talks like he's gonna fight like Max Holloway. He talks like he's gonna fight like Mark Hunt. He talks like he's going in there and he's not gonna care about his well-being and fuck things up. But for the most impressive part, the defense of the guy is incredible. Like, it was really hard to hit him, and it feels like it's very hard to hit him. The defense of the guy is top tier defense, man. It's not even top tier, it's S tier defense. Like, crazy defense. Crazy guy with crazy defense, and incredible. Incredible. The defense was crazy, but the fighting style, man. The fighting style doesn't match the talking style. The trash talk is amazing. The trash talk goes all and all and all. But the fighting style has to match, which doesn't. The Paulo Costa fight. First 2 rounds, slow. He was winning on merit. Last round, again he was winning on merit, and in the last 10 seconds he blasted out and people bought it. They are buying their alpha male to as much capacity as possible, but he's just not the guy to have the same ability to fight with a non-defensive mechanism. To say that he is gonna fight with non-defensive mechanism and then fight with fully defensive mechanism. But again, it just shows how much focused or how much to the plan he is, rather than just talking smack, getting angry and fighting out of his way, which is commendable. Like, you made a plan, you talk, maybe trash talk leads you to do something that you don't want to do in a fight other than your game plan. But the guy did. He just stuck to his game plan. He was so focused on his defensive style because that's his style, and it was crazy, man. It was a good fight. It was a good fight. But now is the crazy part. We are gonna talk about our people's champ, our guy who claims he can knock Khabib out, Anshul Jubali, an Indian representative fighter. And I'm so glad that India is being represented in a stage like UFC by Anshul, by Pooja Tomar. It is incredible that finally our guys of combat sport are in the UFC. One has multiple people, like crazy. I was checking out one's roster for Indian fighters, crazy fighters. But let's just talk about them a little later. Anshul Jubali, man. When you are an up and coming fighter, it is very important to have confidence, but you need to back that confidence up. It might look like the first round, the last fight was an early stoppage because he got hit. He was going for the takedown, but it is not what you do after you fall down. It is how you fall down. Most of the time you fall down, but you show that you're okay and you go for the finish. But when you fall down in a shelling position, it is also hard for the referee to look into it, because he fell, he was covering his face, he fell in a fetal position, and that is a really hard call for any referee. Even when I thought he fell, but again, he should have given him a chance to recover, which again, I don't blame the referee. He fell in a way, but again, we have to move past it. Anshul needs to fight soon. The next fight needs to be soon. It is not a concussion. He's not been damaged that much. He needs to fight soon. He needs to get a win, revive his trajectory, get some momentum, get some encouragement or push. This is a very, very hard situation. As an MMA fan, a person who is representing India, it is very hard for me to see 2 back-to-back losses. The time he won, I was really, really, really happy that finally India is being represented in a stage where it should be represented, in a fighting combat situation, and in the UFC, which is great. But then 2 fight losses, it's okay, there is still time. But again, you need to be humble, man. You need to be humble. You can't claim. It is good for up and coming fighters. I believe even for me, when I'm trying to do something, I think like I can do much better thing. When I play basketball, I think I can do much better dribbling than Kyrie, but I can't. It's just fact, I can't. I can't really do it. It's okay to think about it. If it gives you motivation, it's okay to say it. But you need to have the level of understanding as to what the other person is and how much levels ahead they are. From the last fight, I was only hoping he has his cardio ready, because the last fight was very, very his way. It was going his way. He was landing crazy shots. He landed, I think, much better percentage, which from his opponent in the first 2 rounds, he was completely dominant, and in the last round, he only landed 7 shots. Only 7 shots. And the guy landed 37. And most of them were on his head. Knockdown and a takedown, I think. And I was hoping he just have his cardio on top. Just have the cardio on top. I believe in your boxing, I believe in your takedowns, but just have the cardio on top. But when you claim you have a chin of stone and it can't be broken, it shouldn't go to shock when you get hit the first time in the fight freshly. Sometimes it is a shock, but it wakes you up, and I thought it waked him up. But again, it's a hard call. It's a really hard call for the referee as well. I think if it was Herb or someone else, maybe they would have let the fight go, but you can't really make any suggestions now, can you? Not have been a great start for Indian MMA in the UFC, but we have to believe in our guy. He's there representing us, representing the entirety of India right now, and he needs to get a win back. He needs to do it. He needs to have a win back. That should be the priority, and he needs to fight soon, maybe 3 or 4 months. He needs to get a match. He needs to fight, because the longer you stay away from the cage, the more harder it will be to get that deep drive and motivation going. Right now, I think he has the motivation going. He has 2 losses, one which he should have won but let it slip in the last round, and the second where he didn't even get the chance to showcase everything that he has. This should be motivation enough for him. It should be enough. It should be enough for him to get going, and I hope he gets going. But the main thing is, you need to take the hate, man. You need to take it. It is very differently, I see it from my personal perspective, because when you win, you take gratitudes and you take good feelings from others with open arms. Hate is on a similar level. You're representing, if you're saying you're representing some part of a country, you're saying you're representing the country, all the country's hopes are on your shoulders. And if things goes good, there are people going to celebrate you. But if they don't go good, some are going to comfort you, some are going to tell you the truth, and some are just going to bash you for what you have done, because that's how things work. That's how human nature works in every country. We support you, man. You are the guy, you are representing us, but you need to take this. Get this hate, let it fuel you, do something better with it. Don't go on a soy boy streak telling people, now people are going crazy, they are hating me for these reasons because they have never fought. They have never fought in a physical sense, but everyone is fighting their own battles. We all know it. Everything that anybody does takes some level of guts. That's why they are doing it. It is easier to say that you guys are not fighting, that's why you are saying these things, but everyone is fighting for their jobs, everybody is fighting for each and every place. It's not just the fighters who fight, it's the people who also fight in their daily lives. The comparison can be up and down in many situations, but people fight, you fight in a literal sense, and you have a whole nation behind you. People may say that you are not doing a great job representing the country, which is right now what it looks like, but you have the power to change it. Let this thing fuel you. Let these things make you more motivated to your goal, and go for it, man. You are the guy. You are the guy right now. You need to shut people up, or you need to shut up. That's just how things goes. You keep winning, you can shut people up. If you don't, you need to shut up. That's just how things goes. Everyone celebrate the victor. And in this case, right now, you are not the victor. But you need to be, man. You need to be. That's just how things goes. This is very important, man. The level of joy I had when you first seeing an Indian flag in the octagon has been a dream of mine. To see my country being represented in a combat sports arena, which you are doing, man. And it was a very happy moment for me. It is still a very happy moment for me because you are still in the UFC. Please, man, showcase the world, man, what you're made of. This has to be you, man. You have to do it. You need to do it. Let's just go, man. Let's just go. This is what you need to do. Everyone is with you, man. All the India is backing you up. Maybe most people seem like they're not, they're hating, but once you win, they will all come back. That's how things work. Get going, man. You need to win. Let's go, man. Let's go. And the next fighter I want to talk about in the Indian MMA is Pooja Tomar. She's been doing great. She's been doing practically an amazing job. I just wanted to find out when his next fight is. I think it's in March. I hope it's in March. Yes, it is in March. 22nd March. We need this win, man. We need this win. Edward versus Jack Della Maddalena. In this card, Pooja Tomar is fighting. She has a good matchup against her, 6-1, and she's 9-4. I hope she wins this matchup because she is a good fighter, man. She is also, her age is also in the same degree as, I hope it is. UFC does not have her leg reach. Not even the reach. The normal reach. What the fuck, UFC? What the heck you guys doing, man? So right now there are no odds in regarding, but there are that she has 75% odds of winning by a TKO and a decision only 25, which is great. I think both of them are strikers, which is really amazing for Pooja, and I hope she does great, man. She's been doing very good job in regional scenes. Also, she won. Now she's in the UFC. She got her first win in the UFC. I can only hope that things does not go the same way it did for Anshul with Pooja. I hope she does great. She has to do great. She's the one I'm backing very up. We need to support her. She just needs to show up. If in 2 months I see 2 fighters lose from India, it is gonna break my heart. Can't really take it. It is going to be very difficult, but let's just see what happens, man. I'm really hoping, I'm really hoping Pooja wins this match. Her opponent is great. She's also an up and coming fighter, and it is great that they're both will have striking, but mixing things up doesn't really go wrong. Also, Ritu Fogart is also coming back. Her last 2 fights were losses, but to Stamp, and the other one was a champion, which again I felt was really weird because Ritu is a grappler. Again, I know the difference between grappler and jiu-jitsu. You gotta have a jiu-jitsu background. When you're grappling, it is way more helpful than just grappling, because no one actually can grapple like Khabib to just ground and pound, have the backhand lock. The one thing which really blows my mind is grappler not taking the one essence that Khabib did in his most fights, almost every fight, that when he gets you down, he traps your opposite hand so you can't even leverage to get up, and then now you only have one hand. And I don't see fighters doing it, which is like crazy. People are getting up from the ground by that hand's leverage, and people are not grabbing it. I don't know what's going on, man. Crazy. But I hope Ritu also wins her returning match, and Pooja wins this match. So start at least be good for Indian MMA. But the one thing I found very common in that a lot of Indian champions, or sorry, I said champions, but a lot of Indian fighters are very old in age, almost 30 past everyone, 30, 38, 40, and in lower weight classes. And most of them, multiple of them, have many defeats in a row, which is not great. Yet they debuted if they debuted 5 years ago, 32, it's a good debut, but then consistency. The same thing is gonna happen with Peyton Taba. The guy fights 1 time in a year, and this time when he fought, what happened? No grappling. Got fraud checked real quick. We've been consistent. Maybe wouldn't have racked few more wins. Maybe worked on his grappling a lot. If you're not fighting for a year, at least work on your weaknesses, man. Come on. What's going on? I'm drifting a little too much, but I hope Anshul fights pretty soon, because I believe in the guy. He needs to take this hate, he needs to make it fuel him and come with a bang. That's what he needs to do. And Pooja, I can just only hope she has prepared herself, and I will give more deep down into it when the fight week come. But she's the hope. She's my hope. She's nation's hope right now in the UFC to get first win of the year in the Indian MMA, and I hope she does it. Thank you so much. If any of you watched my first video, I'll be going by the name of in MMA. Thank you for joining. If you did, I hope you liked the video. Most of the times I think I said gibberish, but I hope it made sense right now. But I hope my guys wins, man. I hope Anshul gets his next fight announced pretty soon, and I hope Pooja wins and fights again this year. At least 2 times a year. It's great. But let's just see what happens, man. Let's just see what happens. I can only pray. Well, that's been my take. Thank you guys for joining in if you did. See ya.